This episode of the Blerd Mob contains explicit language. While we want everyone to enjoy the show, sometimes we may say things that are not appropriate for all ages. So, in other words, Mom, Dad, Granny, we cussing. Discretion is advised.
King G, Grow Site, ENT. Rock with it, rock with it, rock with it, rock with it. Let me pop my shit. Let me pop my shit. Hands up.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to the Blerd Mob. I'm your host, Phoop.
I'm one of your newest co-hosts, Ryun.
And I am your new co-host, Ralph.
If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other streaming service, make sure you hit that follow button so you can get updates from the mob.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications for future updates.
Alrighty. So it's 2022. As you guys have already seen, we got two new co-hosts, Ryun and Ralph. So how does it feel to be official?
We need a soundboard to do like that, woo, like in the background. But it's a great way to start the new year.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm glad to be a part of the team. I've been working in the shadows though, so.
Black
He's
Ops.
been an Ambu Black Op.
Black operations.
But, so it's a new year, new mob, basically. And I just have to ask, did you guys make any New Year's resolutions? Or is that something that you guys do? So there's a stigma of New Year's resolutions. Like, some people don't like to do them, or some people don't like to hear about them, because most people set a New Year's resolution and then it only lasts for like January, and then they just say fuck it.
Facts.
And then
Yeah.
like, if for me personally, I don't even remember if I made any New Year's resolution for 2021. I can't tell you if I did. And if I did, I can definitely say I did not fulfill them.
Honestly, I don't think I ever do them, but I kind of did make one for this year. And that's because, excuse me, y'all, I'm still in recovery. So for the fans, a little bit of personal stuff. Like, I did start working out. Your boy was fat. I was pushing like 280. I lost more than 40 plus pounds, so I'm getting slim. I'm trying to get a six pack.
Look at you, boy.
I'm gonna be looking like Thor in this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get that pack. But
okay.
my New Year's resolution is honestly.
All
All right, Mega Block. My New Year's resolution is to stay consistent. Honestly, I already started working out, so it's not let's start working out now, but just stay consistent and not to get too comfortable.
I feel you. What about you,
feel you.
Ralph?
I would say last year I didn't have anything, I don't think. Or if I probably did, it was working out, and then, COVID at that point,
Yeah.
so it was kind of tough. But this year I'm picking it back up. I am trying to get more in shape because I went to go play basketball with some high schoolers. Like,
Ooh,
yeah,
Ralph.
yeah.
Now high school is a monster.
Let's talk about that. Ralph, we are borderline 25, and you went to go play basketball with some high school kids?
Listen.
We are not in shape like we used to, Ralph. You have to play with people your own age.
Ralph,
You are playing basketball with people who can eat a triple cheeseburger and wake up the next morning and go run 3 laps. We can't do that no more.
People who could go run the Murrah Mile after eating a bag of hot munchies and a Powerade.
That's what I'm saying. We can't do that no more, Ralph. But anyway, back to your experience, because I do want to hear how this played out.
So, I played a couple games with them. The first game, I was feeling okay. Back was slowly hurting, except this was like in December, before the new year. I just wanted to go out and see where I stand, so I can get a judgment of how far I need to work. So the first game I did okay. Back was hurting a little bit. I was like, all right, I'm a little winded, but it's okay. Second game
Ralph
came.
was on that bench. Help me, please.
No, but them go-to stretches mid quarter.
No, when I tell you I was going for water after every game, I was dying. After that first game, I stopped running. I was playing defense, except I just stopped running. The third game came. I wasn't even moving. I was just sitting in one spot, going to go shoot and run back.
That boy had to go to his physician. After that, he had to go to the doctor after that
Look,
game.
he was in the back of his head. Don't sprint, just stride. Stride it out.
I'm
Just
telling
stride.
you.
You got it. Ralph, I'm gonna just stay back here. I'm gonna just stay. That is crazy.
But yeah, that is my New Year's resolution, is to get at least somewhat back in shape.
Nice.
So I got 3 New Year's resolutions coming off of 2021. One, don't look at me like that.
3?
Don't look at me like that. Okay, is there a max to how many New Year's resolutions we can have?
It's not.
I mean, you can have as many as you want.
It's already hard
but y'all
keeping
just
up with
looking at me like. But I'm just saying though. I just didn't. I do have 3.
Don't put
but
her
I did
down.
not just make. Right.
Let me be more supportive.
But I didn't make 3
Thank you.
New Year's resolutions because I just wanted to have multiple New Year's resolutions. I have reasons of why behind each one of these.
Mm-hmm.
So my first one, of course, was like getting back in shape and focusing like on the stuff, like the food and things that I'm putting into my body. First half of 2021, I was straight. But then second half of 2021, starting this podcast, doing school. You guys know we been working on this out forever and doing work. Just really caught up with me. Like I was going to the gym. I stopped going to the gym. I stopped cooking. So I just started eating out a lot because it's quicker. Like if I got stuff to do, it's quicker to just have somebody bring me my food instead of doing all this work to cooking and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
I really want to focus, which leads into my next goal. Well, this goal is just, spend more time going to the gym, releasing that stress, one, and then just, stop eating all the junk food and stuff. Because like I said, we getting old. Yeah. We can't be out here just eating any kind of stuff, And then that leads into my next New Year's resolution, which was just to manage my time better. Like, along with all this other stuff and me just eating whatever was convenient, like, my sleep schedule was thrown off. I used to be able to get into work, like, at 8. Like, I start going to work at 9 because I got to get my sleep. Like, I'm tired. I'm working on stuff, like, late in the night, knowing I got to go to work in the morning. Like, I'm looking at it like, this ain't the way to live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I really want to manage my time better. And then the last thing, what's up?
I was just going to say, it's crazy how we see how much of a difference good sleep and a decent diet can affect you now that we're older. Because when we were kids, we took all of that for granted. All of it. Now, we're only 25. I'm only 25. But if I get less than 6 hours of sleep, bro, I don't feel good.
Right. And it's hard to, I guess, with having a full-time job. And I have to go to work because I have to pay these bills. I can't, like, sleep 3 hours and then just, like, not going to work. Like, I got to make this money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it takes a toll. Like, okay, you do it one day, sure. But it takes a toll when you're doing this every day. And then you looking forward to the weekend. Like, okay, this weekend, I'm going to get some sleep. Mm-hmm. No, that stuff catches up with you. Mm-hmm. And it's like you wake up even more tired. Like, I really want to manage my time this year because that is ridiculous.
Did you guys' parents ever
I never want to do that again. What you said, Ralph?
Did you guys' parents ever, like, tell you guys, say, you can never catch up on your sleep even as much as you want? Did they ever used to tell you guys that?
Somebody told me that. I don't think it was my parents, but I have heard that before. Like, you just can't, not sleep through the week and then just pick a day where you're going to sleep all day. That it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. You really just got to, like, suffer through it, to be honest. And then it's funny because if you're trying to, like, since we're talking about eating healthy, also probably, like, losing weight and everything else, that's your body's time to, like, recover. So it's like sleep affects so much in just the recovery phase for your body to rebuild the muscles after tearing them down. Actually helps you to burn a little bit of calories in your sleep because the muscles burn calories over time. It helps with a lot of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And then my last thing, this is a little bit personal. I did want to focus more on like my social life, but more so romantically. Cause it's like not y'all clapping. See, they calling me out, y'all. I'm for real though. I'm for real though. Like, I think I put myself at a disadvantage, like doing all these projects, because I just don't have time to pursue a social life. Or maybe it's not that I don't have time, and half of it is that I don't have time. The other half of it is just I just don't try enough. So I've already proven like I can do. I guess when I moved out, because I stay by myself, I pay my own bills, I work this job, so I'm a full independent adult, and it's like I've proven that I can do this. That anything that I want, I can have it. I wanted to start a podcast, I did that. I wanted to make this whole nerd cave, I did that. I went to California for the first time,
Visiting
I
me.
did that.
That was lit.
It was fun.
It was fun though, but like all the stuff that I wanted to do, I did it easily. And this is like the one thing that I just cannot find my footing in. So I really want to put more energy into that, because the lonely life is not fun. I know some people, they're like, oh, I love being by myself. Being by myself is my comfort zone. Yada, yada, yada. And sometimes, yes, being by yourself is therapeutic.
Yeah.
But after a while, the loneliness is not. It's not fun.
Sometimes you just like having somebody to go out to eat with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a difference between having friends and then just having that person that, like Ryan said, you can just go out to eat with, or y'all talk on the phone, for hours at a time. And it's like it's a different type of dynamic, it's a different type of vibe.
Right.
It's like, not saying that I don't like my friends, but it'll be nice to just have that one person. So that's something that I want to focus on for 2022. So those are my New Year's resolutions. And like I said, I had reasons for all of these.
I actually support it. And if I were to add one more to my New Year's resolution, I would definitely say my mental health.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Dealing with everything
I definitely
now.
support that.
Yeah.
Especially for you guys, like the big thing is that mental health in the Black community, and how Black men don't get enough support for their mental health.
Yeah, and it's like just overall in society, like with COVID and everything, I kind of like straddle the line of like introvert and extrovert, but the fact that COVID has made so many people anxious to be around other people, extroverted people are really struggling. Like, I've heard a phrase where it's like some people recharge when they're by themselves, and some people recharge when they're around others. And a lot of people, like, this has really dawned on them. Like, this has really hurt their, how would I call it, like, happiness levels, how they just feel about life, like having to go home and scared to go out. Like, I go out every now and then, but look, I got sick during the holidays, and I'm pretty sure it was COVID based off the results, even though the test said it was negative. But it's hard out here. So everybody, like, I know we are talking to each other, but anybody listening, really take care of your mental health. Like, you got to get,
Honestly,
you need some therapy. You need just someone to vent to. You need someone to talk to. Find a mentor. Like, don't be afraid to open up, because that mental pain can hurt you worse than the physical pain.
Yeah. And I guess going back to your introvert extrovert thing, especially people who thrive off of like physical contact and like that face to face, like talking online is cool, but sometimes it's nice to, just sit down at a restaurant and talk to somebody, or hang out with your buddies.
Exactly.
Whether it's y'all went out to the bar or something, or y'all sitting down on the couch playing games or something, like that physical contact does a lot for your mental health.
Exactly.
And the fact that COVID is, some people are scared to go out. Some people are scared to hang out with their friends or invite their friends over, because it's that stigma of, are they vaccinated, or I stay with other people and if they come over and they get us sick, then this will happen, or what if I get my family sick, or what if I get somebody else sick, or even the thing now with like people going to work, if I get sick I can't go to work,
Right.
I can't get paid.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the worst part.
So
That's a lot.
So another new thing that I want to do. So we talked about New Year's resolutions. The new thing that I want to do on the mob is I want to basically just do it like a catch up thing. Like previous episodes we've talked about Marvel and DC heavily. We had like our silver linings where we talked about Avatar and we talked about The Witcher, but for me, I know that I watch and read and listen to way more stuff than Marvel and DC.
Same.
So I just want to take the time to like ask, like, what are we reading? Like, what are we watching on TV? What music are we listening to? Are there any new hobbies that we got into?
Sadly, I'm not reading anything right now. At least not yet.
I was reading The Witcher, but I stopped reading it. So I do want to get back to finishing that out.
Last thing I actually like sat down and read was the Demon Slayer manga set box set. I got a few business books I need to read, but I have been very lackadaisical, to say the least. But in terms of watching, I don't, you know, since if y'all watched our previously well done ad, you know, we are into other stuff, and I've definitely been watching my anime. I feel like every anime nerd right now is very much excited for one Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc, which is going hard right now. And
hey, they doing the manga justice.
To pick up.
Listen,
they are doing the manga justice.
And me and Phoop read the manga. This ain't even the best part.
This ain't even the best. So the last episode of Demon Slayer, how they did it, how they animated that whole sequence just makes me excited for everything that's gonna come. Cause I read the manga back in the summertime. Like I read the whole thing by August, because that's when they dropped the last book. But like the stuff that's coming ahead, like I know is going to be sick. This is going to be disgusting.
Listen, y'all. I've been watching anime for as long as I can remember. I'm talking before the wave. I'm talking before I discovered watching it online. Let me tell you something. After reading the manga for Demon Slayer, it is one of my top franchises. It is probably the best franchise I've ever read. And if y'all loved Entertainment District arc, you watch Mugen Train and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this, but why is everybody simping for Rengoku? I still simp for Rengoku. Wait.
Boy, get out of here.
Shut up.
No, let me show y'all this Rengoku poster.
But it's
don't
okay.
Nobody want to see that. It's okay.
I like to see it. I wake up to it every morning. But let me tell y'all something. Demon Slayer going hard. And also,
it is.
I don't know if you started it, Food, but have you started Attack on Titan? Because the final part 2 for the final arc just started.
I couldn't get past what the Titans look like. I think I tried to watch one episode, or maybe I saw a clip of like just these big naked people just running around, and I was just like, what the absolute, what is this?
What about you, Ralph? Have you started it before I go?
I did start the first episode, and I was interested, except however it was around the same time that I think Demon Slayer was coming on, and then the movie came out, and then I started watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and it fell to the backlog. So
I didn't know you watched JJK.
Yeah, I've been trying to pick back up on it, but I watch more than just animated shows.
It's slow.
It's so much that I have to catch back up on. Like I'm watching Blacklist right now. They just came out with a new season the beginning of this year. I have to watch the newest episode of Euphoria because I've not seen it.
Oh yeah, I got caught up on Euphoria. Yeah. That's my show.
Have you caught up on Insecure yet?
Yes, I have. I finished it.
Yeah.
I did. It was okay. It was like they were trying to not mention COVID in the last season, which I understand. because it's a lot of shows that do that anyway. But they were trying to pretty much go around it. But you can obviously tell the scenes where COVID was being mentioned by like them wanting to go out and then them changing plans of just wanting to stay at home because something happened in the show. That's really
I
just
didn't get
mentioning.
that vibe.
I
I
didn't pick
got
up
that
on
vibe
that.
for sure. I definitely
I
did.
didn't.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna rewatch the last season to find out, but I
Yeah.
guess. But outside stuff I've been watching. So last weekend I sat down and like just watched movies. Like for me, I love movies and I'm a big fan of film. I think what gripped me in a chokehold for 2021 was like all the Marvel movies that were coming out, the Disney Plus shows, that I wasn't going out and watching anything other than that.
hmm
I think the only movie that I watched outside of Marvel film was when we went to go see A Quiet Place 2.
We did.
I don't
Yeah, I
think I
did go
saw
see
that.
that.
And in the Mortal Kombat movie. But everything
Yeah,
else was like Marvel and DC related. So I really wanted to get back into like watching movies outside of that. So I watched Cruella, which was outstanding. Like as not Marvel, Disney villain origin story movies go, that is, I would put that second to Maleficent.
I would have to
I
say
watch
Corella's outfits were fire. They were good. They
her
were
story
nice.
and the plot twist was
Yes.
lovely. But I watched that. I did watch Black Widow again. I'm still against it being a movie, but I do like that movie.
hmm
Okay.
I watched the new Mortal Kombat movie, the animated one.
I haven't
I
I
watched that one.
loved
watched
I loved it. I actually really loved that one, and I went back and watched the
the
old ones.
the ending was boring to me.
It it follows the game. So how did you feel about
So the middle part, so the beginning and the middle part, I was in, and then the ending with Shinnok. Yes, it's basically Mortal Kombat X,
Mm-hmm.
but
hmm
it was still boring. I would say this: I did not care for the ending of Mortal Kombat X either.
Fair. Fair.
So there's
How
that.
did you like it in comparison to the first movie, which was basically Mortal Kombat 9? Although I don't think they called it Mortal Kombat 9, I think they basically like rebooted and just called it Mortal Kombat, the one before X.
I liked the first one,
Okay.
Scorpion's Revenge. I did like it, and I like this one too, like because they keep the brutality in the movies. Like all of the fight scenes, I was just like, oh my god.
They held nothing back.
Like if you think the games are brutal, because when we're playing the games, we're just playing the games and we're
Oh
just
yeah.
watching it like, okay. But this animated giant, like I was disgusted. And I played I not played the games, but watching it, I was disgusted. I was like, oh my god. But and then I watched Teen Titans Go versus the Teen Titans. And I could shit on Teen Titans Go all day, but that is actually a good movie. It's
Is it?
dope. It's a multiverse movie surrounding the Teen Titans. And I think what I like most about it is that the problem is centered in Raven, which is all where basically all their biggest problems come from is Raven. So it's centered with Raven, and then they do the multiverse thing where you get I won't call them OGs because my OGs are the 1980s, but the 2000s Teen Titans also come in, and they have to watching the different dynamics and seeing how they interact with each other. It was a fun watch. I'll give it to them. It was a good movie. And then I watched Ready Player One for the first time. And
Really?
You only wait. What?
Like that? Like you
yeah,
watched it for the first time recently?
yes.
Huh.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was okay. It's a book movie. You know how book movies
Yeah.
have that vibe that this is a movie based on a book?
Yeah.
That's the vibe it gave me. I liked the concept of it, but I think the vibe that it was just giving me, I was like, okay, I like this, but
I want you to
it's
know that's what the metaverse is going to be.
Honestly.
that's what everybody's saying. I don't think it's gonna be that loose though. So that was the discussion that me and my cousin were having. I don't think the the metaverse is going to be that loose as the Oasis in Ready Player One. Like, were people walking around being Ninja Turtles and stuff?
Now it, I don't know. So
I mean, they might. But
I can see it happening, honestly.
Without going on a full tangent, if you look at how free the internet is now, and then you add the fact that people are just immersing themselves in the internet and they want to express their creativity. You look at how people express themselves on their creativity on social media platforms and etc. You get into the metaverse where people buying their lands in the sandbox parks and all these different neighborhoods and stuff. It could get to that point.
Yeah,
it could get to that point.
I'll give you that. I was just saying, just because of the stuff that they were doing, like, it felt very. Yes, you have people who are going there to do like business, like one of the scenes where they went to the club.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can see that happening in the metaverse.
right.
Like, I'm going into this virtual reality world to go to the club or the mechanic or the library and stuff like that. But the other stuff, like the race and that war zone where they were just shooting people for money, maybe, but I just don't.
I can see that being a video game, honestly.
Let me shift your thinking.
Let
me shift your thinking. Since the metaverse is essentially just, you can look at it as the World Wide Web, how's it any different from if I'm playing over here on Xbox's network, Xbox Live or PlayStation Network where I play the games, but over here, I'm on Skype, Microsoft 365. Does now when you say, okay, all of that is in the metaverse, does it seem like, okay, that's liable, that's possible?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I get it. I get that this is basically what the metaverse is probably going to turn into.
It's going to be
But
fun.
I will say some of the parts felt, I don't know if you guys got that vibe watching the movie, but this movie felt very Spy Kids 3D to me.
Honestly, the love interest part is the most off-putting thing about the movie to me.
That and like when they went into the race, like when they were doing the race, it reminded me of the race that they were doing in Spy Kids 3D.
I can see that too.
But Spy Kids 3D was basically the same thing, but it wasn't a virtual reality world. It was just a video game that they were inside. So
Man.
Anime, because I do dabbles in the anime. I am watching Demon Slayer, and it's, like I said, it's getting disgusting. But I'm also watching Yashahime, which is the Inuyasha, the next gen Inuyasha story that follows Kagome's and Inuyasha's daughter, as well as Shishamaru and Ren's two daughters. And it's actually getting pretty good at this point. It's getting to one of those next gen areas where everybody's parents are coming back into the fold. Because this is what I like about Yashahime, which I kind of dislike about Boruto, is that for the first season of Yashahime, it's just the kids. Like, you barely see their parents. You get some nostalgia of the old characters from Inuyasha, but they're just not in every episode.
Right.
And they don't have to be in every episode to make it exciting, versus Boruto, where some of like the high intensity episodes involve Naruto and Sasuke.
So much so that as somebody who refuses to watch Boruto, I know exactly how the story is going solely because of the Naruto Sasuke scenes that I see all over social media. And I'm like, so y'all just should watch Naruto.
Honestly, I haven't even started Boruto.
And you know the story right now, don't you?
I haven't. I probably have seen the memes, except I didn't know it was from Boruto.
I mean, so here's the thing about social media. TikTok will spoil everything from you. I'm with Ryun. I could go on TikTok and watch maybe 5 TikToks and know what the new Boruto episode is about. But and most of the clips that I see are Naruto or Sasuke. And I do like Sarada. if I wanted to pick my favorite next gen character. But going back to Yashahime, is that I like the characters without their parents being involved. They tell a good story, and the stakes fall on the kids. Like the twins have this big battle with this demon, this big demon that their grandfather fought, and they're going in on this man. Like Shishamaru only shows up at the end after they done fighting, and you would think he would show up and like come assist, but nah, he let them girls fight by himself. And I was like, okay.
You're the only person who has somewhat persuaded me to want to go back and watch Inuyasha, because I was watching Inuyasha back when it was coming on Toonami, and I was just excited that I was watching a show that said "damn" and used profanity that wasn't Family Guy. But I'm being so for real. That's the best I can describe it, y'all. But it's nice that I'm really proud, like y'all. I'm really proud of Phoop because it took a minute to get her into anime. Not that she was just like, that's not me, but it was like really interesting trying to find her one that she liked. And you also are finding stuff that isn't just mainstream. Because I was going to say, in terms of like two non-mainstream animes I just watched, isekais are really popular. Y'all know what isekais are?
Mm-mm.
Basically, in a nutshell, person delves into a new world, has their current personality. Is basically like, I'm basically playing a game. Honestly, that's the majority of them. I'm playing a game, or I'm in a book, or I'm in a fantasy world, and now I'm just indulged and immersed in it with my mindset of the real world. But there's been two recent ones. The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. That is the title. Very uncreative. It hit every niche for me though. Fantasy, assassins, kind of dark. It hit every niche for me. And How a Realist Hero Built a Kingdom. Very uncreative title. However, it was pretty solid. And the part 2 to season 1 just started back, and I've been enjoying that as well. But
I've honestly been thinking of like finding different ways to try to find new animes, just kind of maybe pick from a hat or something, and then go on Crunchyroll and trying to find it and probably watch it or something. That's kind of like an idea I want to have for myself.
Honestly, yeah, follow Crunchyroll, Funimation, a few anime folks online. Literally, if you see a clip and it looks interesting, honestly, when I was discovering animes, if I was on Hulu or Hulu, I actually watch a lot of anime through Hulu, and the thumbnail just looks interesting. I see a character that looks pretty cool. I'll read the synopsis and I'll start watching the anime like that. That's how I've discovered quite a few actually.
Yeah, just watch that first episode, see if you like it or not.
Have y'all been listening to anything? Though I heard a few albums drop. I haven't checked out The Weeknd yet.
I just listened to The Weeknd's new album, and it's not bad, but it's not my favorite. Like I have 3 songs out of the album that I liked, but he's going. So you remember when he released Starboy and he was going with like that disco type vibe? It's still like that. So he's still continuing with that trend. And I'm not saying that this album is bad, but I do miss like his old stuff. Like
you want
Kissland is my favorite Weeknd album.
We want Sad Depressed the Weeknd.
Right. And he still has his that girl he's fiending for but he can't have, or that unattainable love and him not being able to love people. It's still there, but he's still got that disco vibe to it. So it's not bad, but it's not my favorite.
Is it one of those albums that'll grow on you? Like you think if you listen to it like a few more times or like let a month pass by, you think you'll like more of the songs on it?
I don't think so.
I mean, normally with music, that really don't happen. It's like once you listen to an album or like even a few songs, you'll know what songs that you like the most, and that you can like be like, yes, I want to have this. There are a few
albums that I can listen to from top to bottom. Yeah. Albums of 2021 that I listened to from top to bottom and could still listen to from top to bottom is Doja Cat, Planet Her, and Lil Nas X album. I can listen to those two from top to bottom. Drake's album, I did listen to it from top to bottom, but I would not listen to the whole album. I would just listen to the songs that I like, which I do anyway. I didn't listen to Donda. I don't plan on listening to Donda.
So
I did not listen to Donda.
Donda literally has 3 or 4. Praise God is that one y'all keep hearing on TikTok with just the intro, where it's like it cannot always be nice, ha ha ha, or whatever. Like what's funny, when I heard that song on Donda, I was like, this is fire, and then I was like, I don't want to hear the rest. But everybody honestly just listens to Remote Control and Moon off of Donda. And to be honest, when I heard those, I was like, yeah, these are fire, and that's literally all anyone else listens to. The rest of it is not Kanye's best work.
Yeah, I'm not listening to it. But
I can listen to Take Care and Thank Me Later top to bottom, but I'm a Drake fan. And the Carter 3.
Yeah. But I was just going to 2021 albums that I listened to from top to bottom. So speaking of 2021, I do want to take us back. We are going to rewind to 2021 because it's 2 things that I want to get closure on, because we did talk about them in our previous episodes, and I want to get into the Hawkeye series. And I just don't think, I know Ryan didn't watch it, but I know Ralph watched it, and I just don't think this should have been a series. Like, it took too long to get to the point. It gets to the point where they're building up to a lot of stuff. They introduce Kingpin. Yelena comes in, which her appearance makes 4 and 5 my favorite episodes. And then 6, we get to episode 6, we get to the finale. They're setting up everything. Like, the setup for it was nice. And then they just rush everything at the end. And the biggest emotional part, the part that everybody was waiting for Yelena and Hawkeye, the confrontation between those two, they basically rushed it. And I didn't feel any emotion. I felt like, I was like, this is garbage. This is mid. The fight between Yelena and Hawkeye was mid.
I would agree.
And then they introduced Kingpin, and Kingpin gets bested by Kate Bishop's little ass and her mother in the car. Kingpin. And I was like, this is so rushed. This is garbage. And then the end credit scene, where they do that whole musical number. This shouldn't have been a series. That sold it. If, like, either, I think I'm going to stick with the fact that they should have did more episodes for Hawkeye.
Yeah.
They could have did the WandaVision route and did 13 episodes. Or 8. If they wanted to keep the hour-long thing, they could have made it 8. But this 6-episode spiel with half of the season going as slow as it is, this wasn't good. I didn't like it. I don't think this should have been a series. I think this is easily something they could have just threw in a movie.
I was going to ask you that. Would it have been better if they just said, let's make this a Phase 4 standalone Hawkeye movie, and like kind of?
I don't think they should have made the reason I don't think they should. I don't think they should have made a standalone Hawkeye movie. I think they should have just introduced Kate Bishop through somebody else's movie. Like, you remember how in Phase 1, how we got introduced to Black Widow in Iron Man 2.
Right.
We got introduced to Hawkeye in Thor.
Right.
They could have easily did the same thing. And I don't think a devoted movie to it would have sold either, because the other thing that I did not like about Hawkeye is that they downplayed his consequences as Ronin. And I've said this before, like, the man was out here killing hella people.
Right.
And his only consequence that they're showing in this show is him dealing with this stupid mafia. That, true, they work for Kingpin, and Kingpin is a heavy hitter, but they're really trying to downplay him killing all these people because he was hurt for losing his family.
Yeah.
Like, we all deal with, like, if we're coming off an Endgame, everybody was in pain. But you don't see Spider-Man killing all these people. You didn't see Doctor Strange killing all these people. Black Widow, I'm going to take the Spider-Man and the Doctor Strange thing back because they did disappear in a 5-year blip. I'm going to go with Black Widow. Black Widow is a full assassin who also, based on the Hawkeye series, lost her family in the blip, but she didn't go out here killing people.
Out of everybody who should have, she would have.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she's a assassin. She was trained to be an assassin. She lost half of her family, her pseudo family, the Avengers, and she lost Yelena, which was confirmed in the Hawkeye series. And she just went on doing a thing. She went back to being a hero while he was out here killing people. And like the brutality of the scene in Endgame, I felt like there should have been stronger consequences than him just dealing with a gang that works for Kingpin in New York.
All right. Like it.
So that's my whole spill on Hawkeye. I would give it a 6 out of 10 just because of the middle 2 episodes, but I would not. This is at the bottom of my list of all of the Disney Plus series that dropped in 2021. This is the bottom boots.
As someone who doesn't own Disney Plus, would you say, hey Ryan, you should totally just pay for a 1-month subscription to watch Hawkeye?
No.
I would tell you to go to YouTube and watch a review.
I could tell you Hawkeye right now.
Yeah.
You don't even have to watch it. There's nothing to watch. At this point, there is nothing to watch. I could show you my favorite scenes on YouTube, and that'll be a wrap. But I would not subject you to sit down and watch this from top to bottom because there is no value in watching this other than the fact that Kate Bishop is going to be the new Hawkeye.
Okay.
But I just told you that, so now you know. There's no reason for you to watch it.
That's the series.
Oh my God, spoilers.
There's nothing for you to watch it. So that was my spill on Hawkeye. The other thing that I wanted to get closure on is The Witcher Season 2. So I watched The Witcher Season 2, and I was looking at the reviews, and 2 of the complaints I saw, me and Ryan talked about this before, was with Geralt basically taking a back seat on his own show. The other complaint I saw came from the book readers who weren't big fans of how they handled certain situations from the book. And the biggest thing was the Eskel situation. So the dynamic between Eskel and the Witcher and Geralt was actually bigger than what they made it seem in the series. So
they were like brothers almost. Like they were tight from what I've been seeing. Yeah.
But this is my argument. My whole argument with the series versus the book is that we know that when they make something from a book into a live action adaptation, that is not going to be verbatim of the books. You may get some, but you're not going to get the whole thing. The biggest example I can get off of is Harry Potter. Harry Potter is an amazing franchise. The movies make hella money.
Bang.
But the books, though they do pull a lot of content from the movies, pull a lot of content from the books, they did not put everything from the books into the movie. But that does not, just because they didn't put everything from the book in the movie, that does not take the experience away from watching the movie. Because people still love the movies. People are still watching the movies.
Just came out on HBO Max not too long ago. Well, back in December, and people are watching it.
But my thing the reason I wanted to bring that up is that they're making a live action Witcher series. Why should people watch it? And I think, I haven't read the books, so don't shoot me, because I haven't read the books and now I'm watching the series, but I did the same thing with Game of Thrones. I think they're doing a good job with the series. I've read a little bit of the first book, and it looks like Geralt is the main character. Everything is from Geralt's POV. But when you get to the series, we're seeing things from Geralt's POV, Yennefer's POV, Ciri's POV. We even get to Seiya and the other mages POV. We get elves and the people from Nilfgaard's POV. And because it looks like they're trying to make this series more of a character ensemble type show. And with that, you don't really have like, this is the main character. Like, yes, we're following Geralt the Witcher, but everything doesn't come from his POV.
Right.
And you're basically touching on. So before I get to complaining, let me set the premise. I played the games, loved the games, and currently still very much love the series. Never read the books. At some point, I will try to read them. But The Witcher is The Witcher. Geralt of Rivia is The Witcher in focus. Season 1, albeit pretty good, pretty solid, great introduction into the world. It already had a whole lot of time lapses going back and forth in time. Sometimes you ain't really know. I feel like that's one series where you got to rewatch season 1 to really know what's going on at least twice. But season 2, it went in sequential order, pretty steady storyline. However, I didn't get much of Geralt 101 aside from episode 1, where he sees an old friend, he figure out what's going on, helps solves this little situation. But after that, I see him interacting with Cirilla. Yeah, fatherly moments, but they was more focused on Cirilla. We see a major character, Triss, Marigold, get introduced. We see a lot of her. We see a lot of Yennefer. But if someone had to ask me, how did Geralt develop as a character? Well, he became a little bit more fatherly. How did he by himself? How did he learn? Where did he have his self-analyzations? Where did he have his singular moments? We didn't really get much of that at all. And it kind of sucks because this is our main character. At least that's what we think. That's what it seems like going off of season 1. But it does feel like a character ensemble with how much time he did not get to himself.
My argument is that we talked about that The Witcher is trying to go 7 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically trying to build a live action universe, pulling from book material and video game material. So maybe they could do it. If they just focus on Geralt by themselves, they could do it easy. But I think what they tried to do for season 2 is that they're trying to make it more character ensemble. And with that, you have to explore more characters. So, yes, coming from season 1 and going into season 2 and not seeing as much as of Geralt as we did in season 1, I can see that as a complaint.
Yeah.
But if we're trying to build this universe in the way that they're trying to build it through other people's POVs, he's gonna have to take a back seat sometimes. And this is just one of those seasons where he had to take a back seat because they were trying to build up Cirilla and her whole thing. They were trying to build up the politics, the tension with Nilfgaard and the elves.
And how the Brotherhood is still trying to control everything.
Right. So they were trying to build a lot of stuff up. And then the other thing that I will say is that if we want to deem Geralt the main character, is that they never get any resolution until the very end of the series. Because that's what makes a series.
Right.
Yeah.
If Geralt was a fully developed character by the end of season 2, there is no reason for us to watch season 3 because he's not struggling with anything.
I'll give you that.
And even going into Game of Thrones, there were seasons where you could basically call Jon Snow the main character. And then we'll hop to another season where Daenerys is basically the main character. Or we spend a lot of time with Arya. Or we spend a lot of time with Sansa. And you could complain that in this season, I wish we saw Daenerys more than Jon Snow. But they're trying to build this story and they're trying to build this universe. And sometimes that means putting certain characters on the back burner. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just what happened on season 2.
And I'll give it that because I'm not too mad at season 2. Like, I would still give season 2 like if I had to rate it, like if I just had to give it like a Ryun rating, I'll still give it like a solid, probably a 7. I was well invested. I binge watched the entire season during like my Christmas break holiday shutdown from work. Like I very much enjoyed it. I liked that we were introduced to the Wild Hunt and they depicted them really well. If anybody played the games, you see the Wild Hunt in the Witcher 3 game. Um, I do like that they also introduced Amir because he's like the big bad. Like he's like everybody worships him, talks about him. Who is he? We get to see him. I love the dynamic with Dandelion. Let me call him by his series name. I don't know if he's ever going to pick up that nickname, but Yaskier. We get to see his dynamic. I did like the character growth with Yennefer. I feel like they could have did Triss a little bit better, and I also feel like I like seeing Cal Morin. Help me pronounce it, Phoop.
Kaer
I like seeing Kaer Morhen. It was lovely. However, the training that Cirilla went through, like Cirilla's training, like they even hint on it in the Witcher 3 game. Let me tell y'all something. Cirilla went through hell. That wasn't nothing. But I don't know if it's like animation stuff or they just ain't showing us everything yet.
At the same time, her training's not done.
That is true.
And that's what I'm saying. They want this to go 7 seasons. So yes, she started her training in season 2, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's done.
Yeah.
And if she went through hell in the video games, who's to say that she's not about to go through hell in these next couple seasons? Because now she's about to get trained by Geralt and Yennefer.
That is true. And
that's my only thing. I don't think we should. Sure, you can complain, but this is the 2nd season out of the 7 that they want to do. Now I could see if we get to season 7 and then you guys complain, then sure, because we've watched the whole season at this point.
and I'll let you have it. I'll let you have that. Like I don't disagree. I guess it's like some things I was a little bit more desiring of, but nothing's perfect. And then at the same time, you are right. This is just season 2 out of 7. But
You're not even halfway done. You're not even halfway done.
Yeah. But one thing I did like. So, how did you feel about the whole Yennefer and Cirilla mother-daughter relationship, and with the Triss and Cirilla sister-sister relationship, being that also Cirilla views Geralt as a father, and they also hint on the fact that Triss, kind of wants something romantic with Geralt as well. How'd you feel about that little dynamic?
Because I felt the sister relationship between Cirilla and Triss, which I felt was genuine. It didn't feel forced. That they, just because it happened in the games or the books or whatever, they were trying to force in the show. It felt genuine, like she actually cared for her well-being, but you could tell that it was more so of a girls in arm sisterly type thing instead of you do this because I told you to. And then Yennefer, I think because of Yennefer and Geralt's relationship, it was easy for her to fall into that motherly role of Cirilla. And the fact that Yennefer's whole thing is that she wanted kids anyway. But I think when they met and when it got to like that pressure where they had to escape from old dude, like she was like, okay, I need you to do this. Calm down. I'm about to teach you these lessons and all this other stuff. And you feel like a different sort of dynamic with those two than you felt with Triss and Cirilla.
Now, I'm going to let you finish.
Oh, what's up?
I'm going to wait until y'all done.
No, you haven't spoken much on this topic, Ralph. Okay. I want to hear it.
I mean, coming from somebody that has not played the game, watched the series, or even, I think, read the books, would you guys recommend it as a good series to start?
Definitely,
without a doubt. Just
even though Ryan just complained about the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I complain because I love it. Like I could complain all day about Naruto, and I grew up on Naruto. But like The Witcher 2, if I had to recommend to anybody like right now, I mean not The Witcher 2, the Witcher series, watch season 1 twice. Watch season 2.
You'll understand when you watch it.
When you watch it,
You'll understand when you watch it.
Yeah, there will be a lot of questions that you'll have in season 1 that can be honestly answered if you rewatch season 1. Rewatch season 1, go into season 2. You will love it. However, it is a large fantasy world with a lot of world building, so you won't understand everything. It's like going into Game of Thrones and it's like, wait, what's the Night's Watch in season 1? What's this? What's King's Landing? What's Essos versus Westeros? What's all this stuff?
Right.
It's going to take time for them to show everything. The Witcher lore is deep.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if you like anything fantasy, you like deep world building, you like anything, excuse me, y'all, magic, knights and monsters or whatever, even the animations for the monsters is very lovely. Watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Add that to my ongoing list of stuff.
Right.
That never-ending list.
Right.
Wait.
So that was just my thoughts on The Witcher and like reading the reviews and stuff.
So I gotta ask, since we talking about these never-ending lists, there's a lot of movies coming out and a lot of shows coming out 2022. What y'all thinking about?
Oh yeah. That's what I was about to get to. So 2022 is the list. So we have our top 3 anticipated entertainment and video game lists for 2022. And I just want to say, before I even made my list, the roster
It's
for
tough.
2022,
Big.
entertainment and game wise, is deep. Like, it was hard for me to even make my list because it's like, oh shit, I forgot about this. Oh shit, I forgot about this. And I'm just go ahead and get into my list. So I want to start with entertainment. I do. I want to go ahead and get into my list. And I'm curious to see what y'all's stuff is. But for entertainment, I did 2 movies in a series. My number 1 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. I love the first Into the Spider-Verse.
Beautiful.
And the animation exploring Miles Morales, because I didn't really know much about Miles Morales until I watched Into the Spider-Verse, but I'm definitely excited for that. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, y'all already know. Doctor Strange, Scarlet Witch, and I don't know if you guys have been watching the socials, but there are rumors that a lot of cameos, they are bringing people from the Fox universe as well as whoever else they had. But apparently Professor X is supposed to be in the movie.
Huh?
Storm, some other X-Men. Toby is supposed to be coming back.
Tom Cruise is supposed to be playing Iron Man.
It's supposed to be a variant of Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like, the roster. And I heard Daredevil's supposed to be in Ryan Reynolds' Daredevil. Like, the rumors surrounding this movie.
This is huge.
And then
I might have to modify my list.
Another rumor, and they said that Scarlet Witch is going to murder Professor X in this movie. That's the rumor.
Yikes.
I was already ready for this movie because they had said that Scarlet Witch was going to be more so of a villain in this movie. And I love Scarlet Witch. That is my favorite Marvel hero. That's a bad lady. And for her to take on a villainous role, I'm ready. Number 2.
3 hours. 3 hours long.
Man,
it's already sitting at 3 hours. They also, if you're following the socials, they also said that this movie is touching 3 hours.
Keep going.
This movie is gonna be huge.
It's gonna be nasty.
It's gonna have to tie a lot of knots in different series.
It is. They have to tie Loki, WandaVision, and what happened at the end of Spider-Man: No Way Home into this movie. So I'm ready. It's on my list. The last thing is a series, and I am ready for House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones spinoff. It was supposed to drop January 2022, but they pushed back the date. I don't know when. But HBO put out a trailer for all of the stuff that was supposed to be coming 2022, and House of the Dragon was in it. And Daenerys is one of my favorite Game of Thrones characters, and just everybody knows in Game of Thrones they talk a lot about the Targaryens rule. So House of the Dragon is going to focus more on that. I'm excited to learn the lore of the Targaryens. Like, I could easily go read the book, but I would rather watch it. So, and my honorable mention is Wakanda Forever. And there's a reason why I have it on my honorable mention, but I'm gonna let you guys do y'all list.
So, entertainment projects. What's funny? I ain't got nothing you said in my top 3, Phoop, but it's because all of my favorites are making a return. I love Harry Potter. Everybody in this, Phoop and Ralph are also Harry Potter fans, but I love it. Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Fantastic Beasts. I
have mixed feelings about Fantastic Beasts, which is why I didn't put it on my list. My thing about Fantastic Beasts is that I don't think they have a solid storyline. I don't know what story they are trying to tell. It looks like they're trying to tell the dynamic between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, but when the series first started, it did not feel that was the direction they were going in.
See, I feel like this movie is going to be a turning point in the series, and the reason I say that is because you remember how Goblet of Fire was basically like that. We like Voldemort is back, and like we really hit an extreme high. Like everything just became like everything was steady. We see these kids grow as wizards, and then it just elevated. I am hoping that this movie is that, where we really see what the focus is, where we see where the climaxes and everything is going to stem from. We see where the fights are going to stem from. I want this movie to be that, and I think it is going to be that. And that's why it's like my number 1 anticipated project, because I want to see what happens.
I'm gonna let you get through the rest of your list, because I'm going to try to not interrupt anybody else.
I understand. My number 2, John Wick Chapter 4. Best action franchise. Don't nobody argue me. John Wick is the best action franchise of our generation. It is lit in every movie and has continued to get better. The only reason John Wick Chapter 4 is not number 1 is because I know it's going to be good. I know it's going to be good. I know I'm going to love it. If I hate this movie, they must have did something really bad. Love John Wick Chapter 4. Keanu Reeves plays that role so freaking well. My number 3 is a series. Bleach is back. One of the big 3. Naruto's and One Piece biggest competition. Bleach is back. Ichigo is one of my favorite MCs. I'm still trying to convince Phoop to find time to watch Bleach now. Can't wait to see it. Now excuse me. My honorable mentions, I got 2. The Batman. I can't wait to see Edward Cullen. I mean, what's his real name?
Robert Pattinson.
I can't wait to see Vampire Batman. I am interested to see how Robert Pattinson plays that role. Although I do have my gripes of DC, I have my gripes of how they're doing their little DCU or whatever. I still can't help but be excited for that Batman movie. And of course, Doctor Strange. Phoop already touched on it, but everything she said, I am excited to see.
Now, Ralph, what's your list?
So I pretty much went with I thought was going to be a bit of a variety, but it seems like Ryan actually had one of mine as well. I did not put mine in any particular order, so I'm just kind of go. So
how are we gonna do that? How are we gonna do the top 3? And
I have
you ain't got no top 3.
I have 3. Well, forget it. I'm gonna just do top 3. Except I have 3 movies and I have 3 series.
He got a top 6.
Hold on. Whoa.
We need you to
entertainment
to consolidate. That was the assignment. The assignment was both film and TV. That was
make
the
other 3 honorable mentions. You got to make the other 3
I
honorable
did.
mentions. Okay.
So
somebody didn't understand the assignment.
He didn't understand the assignment.
He misunderstood the assignment.
Now listen. Okay, let me get through my list, please, thank you. So, my number one is Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore. I have been enjoying where they are going. I kind of do understand where you're coming from, Food, where it's supposed to be about Dumbledore and Grindelwald, but I have still been enjoying every movie that I've went to go see. I
Same.
have
The second
all
one
the
pissed me off.
posters. The second did piss me off. Except
But
they had some
we're
good
all-
scenes in there that I really enjoyed.
We're all
So
pissed off because they killed our girl. Let's just be honest.
Yes,
We're all
that was
pissed off because
upsetting.
of
Yeah,
that.
they
That was
had no
upsetting.
reason to kill Zoe Kravitz off. I'm still that's racist.
Like the most amazing black wizard we've got. We love her. Y'all
That's
kill her.
racist.
And they killed her off. I think me and Phoop went to go see that together. Did we not?
It was all
It
of
was all
us.
of us.
We all
Yeah.
went to go see
Yeah,
it.
we went there.
Man, I hate she died, but
Yeah.
the show must go on. So
what's
I
your
am
number two?
number two. I have Avatar 2 because
The blue people?
yes,
Mm,
I enjoyed the first
I'm
one.
gonna call you by your full
I am
government
personal.
name.
No,
but I'm
no, you
That's-
are not gonna do this to me.
you know what? Let's hear him out.
Avatar 2?
Let's hear him out.
Yes.
Let's hear him out.
Okay.
Before we
First
Speak
off-
your
we
case.
chop his head off, let's hear him out.
Okay, so before I get into my reasonings for Avatar 2, I knew you guys were gonna come out with majority of the same things, except I was trying to also be different, except know what movies I would like to go see as well. So I picked Avatar 2 because I did enjoy Avatar 1. I feel like there has been a huge layover, kind of like how The Matrix did, to where it's like a huge gap. And I'm hoping they can at least explain more as to what's going on in the world and try to fill in that age gap. Pretty much what Matrix did with the newest Matrix movie, and they're trying to reference back to the old one and kind of like piece everything back together since it's been such a good layover.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Did people really think Avatar was just that amazing? Like
I
at the
fell asleep on that
time,
giant.
the graphics
I
looked
enjoyed it at the
amazing.
time.
Let me call.
They spent
I
a lot
did.
on the special effects budget for Avatar.
It looked great, but
it looked good. It was very phonetic. I maybe stayed up for like the first hour of that movie, and then it got boring.
like
it felt very Pocahontas.
Right, the plot
but
wasn't
blue
like
people.
all of that. Like people are still talking about this movie, and I'm like, what are we hyped about? Like what?
I don't know. Is it because they've been talking about Avatar 2 for a while? Because Avatar 2 has been pushed back like a lot of times.
Yeah.
And now it's finally getting released. So maybe the hype is that it's finally getting released.
Did you
shitting
love
on choice.
Avatar more? Like it wasn't bad, but like did you love it? Did y'all love it?
I did.
Okay, let's do this. I want Ralph to finish his list. Because we really just shitting on this man.
Right. Just because I want to be different.
I'm sorry.
I want him to finish his list.
Sorry.
I want him to finish his list.
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. Can I go now?
Yeah.
Is
I'm gonna mute
hearts
myself. Go. I'm gonna mute myself.
So for my last one, I'm actually gonna switch it out, and I'm going to put number 3, The Boys. The Boys.
The Boys season 3.
Yes. The way season 2 ended, I'm excited to see how the God, I can't remember his name. The officer, the quote unquote police officer guy. I'm excited to see if he actually gets some kind of power in some point or time, because he's so against it. Huh? You didn't watch season 2?
I didn't finish season 2. I had started it. I didn't finish it.
I don't want to spoil it, so I ain't gonna say.
I never watched the entire series. I actually dislike.
you was muting yourself. What happened?
I came off of mute.
This is so funny. This is so funny to me.
Ralph, you got the most controversial list.
But what's your honorable mentions? Mute yourself, Ryan. We done. We done.
He ain't even gonna let me finish. What's wrong with him? Can we kick him off the cast already? This is the first episode. What is this? Okay, so my honorable mentions are Bridgerton. I did enjoy Bridgerton season 1. You didn't. Don't do that. Don't you do it.
You're not saying nothing. I swear.
I did enjoy Bridgerton season 1. I am excited to see what season 2 has to offer. I am also excited for Umbrella Academy, for that to be coming back this year.
Umbrella Academy is coming back 2022?
Yes.
Dope.
That's the series you really like that you wanted me to watch, right, Portia?
It's on Netflix, yes.
Okay.
I don't know. It might be.
During the time you were watching that pretty heavily and you were recommending that.
That was back when we was in college,
that's
right?
what got me started. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what got me started.
Okay. Yeah.
So
okay. I didn't know that was coming back 2022. Mm-hmm. That's nice to know.
Unless it gets moved back, but last time I checked on Netflix, they did say it was going to be coming out this year.
Alrighty. Let's see what they talking about.
And just say, pretty much kind of finish off my honorable mentions. I had Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. Yes.
What? I can't stay muted.
You didn't like the Puss in Boots?
I can't be serious right now. Ralph. I'm gonna let you.
You didn't like the Puss in Boots?
Please finish your list, please.
So you didn't like Puss in Boots?
Ralph, do you know how old we were when we watched the first Puss in Boots?
Okay, and
Ralph,
I'm not saying. You know what? I'm gonna stop.
No.
I'm gonna stop. If you're excited for Puss in Boots, you excited for Puss in Boots. I think the funniest thing about your list, Ralph, is that your list has been very unexpected.
Very unexpected.
You had me with Fantastic Beasts, and then you caught me off guard with Avatar, and then everything under that has really just been like what like.
I watch different things than you guys.
No, wait.
I feel you. I feel you.
We can't go back. Remember when you said Blerds come in all shapes, colors, and interests? We gotta add that part.
That's what I'm saying. If he wants to, if Ralph is excited for Puss in Boots, then by all means, be excited for Puss in Boots. I just was not expecting that to come out your mouth.
It threw me off. It threw me off.
I was not expecting Ralph to say that I am excited for Puss in Boots. I wasn't, and I'm trying not to laugh.
Well, okay. So
finish your list. Finish your honorable mentions.
That was all three. The only reason I even came up with this kind of list because I knew you was gonna come out with the heavy hitters of the main movies that we're excited for as a whole. Doctor Strange, the new Miles Morales movie, of course. And what was your last one?
House of the Dragon.
Yeah. So I knew those were coming.
I didn't know Portia was gonna come with that MCU DC.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So I was trying to give a different list and also be like, hey, you know, I do enjoy these series and these movies.
But I was not expecting you to say Puss in Boots. I wasn't. Like I was maybe expecting you to say something on Ryan's level, like Ryan went John Wick 4. Which I am excited to see John Wick 4, but as y'all know, I'm a comic book junkie, so.
And Ryan is a complete lover of the John Wick series.
But I'm just saying, had you said something on that caliber, like had you said you was excited for the Uncharted movie, which I am also excited for, I didn't put it on my list. I would have rolled with you with that.
But
Ralph, you put up Puss in Boots.
Look, Avatar
it's on my honorable mention.
I want you to understand that I am not making fun of you for picking Puss in Boots. I just want to let you know that you just completely took me off guard by picking Puss in Boots.
We're not nerd shaming you. It's just on the if I was my expectations, you had me on the edge of the cliff with Avatar, and then you just kicked me off of Puss in Boots. Like that's my expectations. Like you just threw them off.
First time it was on my honorable mentions.
It's still though.
Okay, all right. Let's
Come
step
on.
away from the movies because now we got to go video games. My top 3 video games. 1, Hogwarts Legacy. That just
Yes.
seeing it, the trailer, I know that junk's gonna be nice. I don't care how much money is in my bank account when the pre-orders drop. I'm getting it.
We going broke.
I'm getting it. 2, Gotham Knights. I love all of the Batman games. I've been playing the Batman series since I had a PS3. So I'm definitely getting that. 3 is Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Haven't played a Suicide Squad game, but I love action adventure games. And it'll be nice to see how this one goes. My honorable mention is that Forspoken game. So when I first So when I first saw the trailer for Forspoken, I didn't like the way it looked. But another trailer came out and it's looking really good. Also, it's a type of game that I haven't really played before, so I want to step out of my comfort zone and play something different. So if I had to pick a game that's outside my comfort zone, I'm putting Forspoken on my list.
You got to do your honorable mentions. I'm pleasantly surprised. And you're going to see why. You're going to see why.
Okay, let's go.
So,
who's next?
My top 3, and I have 3 honorable mentions. My number 1 is Forspoken. Square Enix and another studio have gone in to produce this for the readers and also the listeners and y'all as well. I love RPGs, action role playing games. That's my top genre of games. Top, period, point blank. Forspoken looks great. The graphics look amazing. The story looks interesting. It's coming out in May. I can't wait to play it. My number 2 was Hogwarts Legacy. I have wanted a Harry Potter RPG ever since I binge watched the first 3 Harry Potter movies before Goblet of Fire came out. That's how I was introduced to Harry Potter. I wanted a Harry Potter game ever since I watched those. I did not want the Lego games. I wanted a legit RPG. I wanted to be able to pick my house, play a wizard, explore the forest, and do everything. Seems like we're getting that. Looking forward to it. My number 3 was Avowed. It looks like a Elder Scrolls Skyrim type game with the first person. You see the sword, you see the magic. The trailer was really short, but it looks super good. I'm looking forward to it. My honorable mentions, honestly, could equally compete with everything I just mentioned before. However, there isn't a necessary guarantee that they're releasing in 2022, but people expect them to. Number 1 is Dragon Age 4, one of my favorite RPG franchises next to the Elder Scrolls and The Witcher. Fable 4, which is a great Xbox exclusive. The Fable franchise is a great RPG series as well. We haven't seen Fable in years. Looking forward to Fable 4. Final Fantasy 16, self-explanatory. Solid game franchise. 15 has some crooks, has some rough edges, could have did better, but 16 looks really good. We don't know if it's coming 2022 though. That's my list. Portia, you pleasantly surprised me. I enjoyed your list. I enjoyed that.
All right, Ralph.
I feel like I'm gonna get nerd shamed again.
No, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Express yourself.
Yeah. If you say Puss in Boots the game,
if you say 2K,
I don't think they're coming out.
If you say 2K, I'm hanging out. No. I'm hanging up if you say 2K.
I don't even play 2K.
Madden.
Okay. What's your list? What's your list?
So my number 1 is of course Hogwarts Legacy. I am just from looking at all of the trailers and the little bit of gameplay that they did show, love it. And also coming from PlayStation 2 when they actually came out with a Harry Potter game.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I was about to say for Ryan's thing is that they did make actual Harry Potter games that weren't Lego games.
Like it was an actual playing Harry going
Harry
through
Potter
the movie
games.
kind of things. Like you actually played the
they were movie games.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one was on the Wii and there was an ad where you could see the Patronus. That's the only one I remember.
You don't remember the one that came out on PlayStation 2?
They made some for PS2.
Were they PS2 exclusives?
I don't know.
I don't.
I don't know.
That's
I would have to actually check that.
they're not.
I
They're
was just
not in my
saying that
history. Yeah.
they made more than the Lego games. They made
Yeah.
movie games.
Okay. Okay. I wasn't exposed to those. Okay. Yeah. I stand
And it looked
corrected.
really good for it to come out on PlayStation 2. Honestly,
Interesting.
it looked
Okay.
real good.
Okay.
That was my number one. My number two, I have to add a PlayStation exclusive, and it is God of War Ragnarok. I am excited for the sequel for the 2018 God of War. Um, I am still in the process of playing the one that came out in 2018. I'm almost done with it now, just to like catch up with the actual story, and that way I can be ready for when God of War Ragnarok comes out. I can just be full steam ahead with that. I'm glad you guys are not hating it so far.
Yeah. I mean, that's no God of War solid franchise.
I
Yeah.
mean, I already told you what's gonna cut the mustard for me. If you turn around and say you waited for Puss in Boots the game.
Now
All
let's
right, my
hit
number
this number
three.
3.
My number three, I have Puss in Boots. I'm lying.
See, I know you lying because I know you lying because they stopped making games just to make games a long time ago. Now, had this been 2011,
When there was a Game Boy
on
game
back
for
I would've
every
got
movie.
right, had this been 2011 when you said you was excited for Puss in Boots the game, I would believe you because I know they're coming out with a Puss in Boots game. But I know you're lying because they don't do that anymore. They do
I almost
not
laughed.
do that
I
anymore.
almost went on edge, but I was like, no, he playing. He playing.
He playing. So what's your real
All
number
right,
3?
my real number three is Saints Row. They will be rebooting Saints Row for this year, and I have not seen any. Yeah, they are rebooting Saints Row for this year.
And it's
I have
guaranteed to
not
release in
seen.
2022, or they want
Yep,
to release.
it is scheduled to release August 23rd. So it will, unless it gets moved back. Pray to God it doesn't, because I did enjoy Saints Row, playing it on, I believe, PlayStation 3. That's when it came out around that time. I
Around that
think the first
generation,
Saints Row,
360,
yeah, around that
Saints Row,
generation.
and PS3.
Yeah, so I did enjoy it during that time. So I'm excited to see what it's going to look like on the new gen consoles, or pretty much next gen. I just want to see how it's going to look, and are they going to change up the story a little bit?
So it's OG Saints Row before all the fantasy stuff. Like this is like Saints Row 1 and 2.
Yes. Yes.
That's more. So that's Portia. Did you ever? I mean, Phoop. Did you ever play those? It's similar to Grand Theft Auto, actually.
No.
Like that was like Grand Theft Auto's like biggest
I heard
competitor.
it's similar to Grand Theft Auto, but I didn't play it.
So I am excited for that. I did not have any honorable mentions for video games because so many other games are constantly just getting moved around right now as far as dates go and what year. So that's pretty much it.
That list
I
was
would have
good.
had, yeah. That's pretty much it. I don't have anything else.
That was video games. So for video games, so it came out a couple days ago that Rockstar is expecting GTA 6 to be released early 2023. Are we calling this fact or bullshit?
Okay.
That we are going to get
I'm calling it
GTA
bullshit.
6 2023.
I did a little bit of research. So the speculation is going at least from what I saw, they're looking at financial reports and essentially like Take-Two Interactive, Rockstar's parent company. They mentioned how they need some investments. I think they bought another studio. And in their financial reports, I don't know if they necessarily directly mentioned GTA 6 or alluded to a big game. And as we all know, GTA 5 was a multi-million, probably I think it touched $1 billion game. And like it made that company, so it did more than keep the lights on. It gave them some Fiji water in their employee refrigerators. Like GTA 5 made some money. But do I think GTA 6 could drop in 2023? I call bullshit. 2024, I can possibly believe it, but I call bullshit. I feel like the marketing for GTA 6, they would have been started.
Yeah.
They would have been hyped this up.
That's my thing. So I'm calling bullshit. And I have two reasons why I'm calling bullshit. One, They are not putting a stalemate on any of their previous projects. They are still putting campaigns into GTA 5 Online. They just dropped one with Dr. Dre. People are still playing it. And if they were really focused on making a GTA 6, they would have stopped doing stuff for GTA 5 a long time ago.
Right.
Like, they are coming out with a remastered version of GTA 5 for the PS5. And why would they put so much focus into that if they were going to work on GTA 6?
Exactly.
My second thing is that they came out with this remastered project of San Andreas, Vice City, and GTA 3, whatever the third one was. And why would you put developer hours into remastering all of these previous games if you were working on GTA 6? So I'm definitely calling, until they stop funding, until they stop funding GTA 5, we are never going to get a GTA 6. I just want to put that out there.
It's not when they stop funding it. It's when we stop playing it. When people finally say, I'm done playing this game.
But I feel like, I'm going to say this. I feel like people would stop playing it if they stop putting more campaigns into it. We've been playing GTA 5 since 2013 when I had a PS3.
But the thing is,
but they've been adding. What's up?
The thing is, GTA. There are so many people who not one go back to GTA 5, but there are still like those little teenagers who couldn't buy GTA, who are turning 16, 17, and 18, going back and rebuying and buying GTA 5 for the first time. Those folks still exist.
But that's my point. That's my point, that GTA 5 has been out for so long that you have people who weren't old enough to play GTA 5 that's playing GTA 5 now because there is no GTA 6. If they would have stopped putting in content for GTA 5 and came out with a GTA 6, that audience that you're referring to would just be playing GTA 6.
I agree. It's just the biggest issue in the game industry right now is those big shareholders, stock investors, and all of them. And the thing is, as long as GTA 5 keeps making them millions of dollars, they're going to tell Take-Two Interactive to tell Rockstar, hey, keep making that DLC. Because we are making this money. We ain't got to make no new servers. We ain't got to make a whole new game. We ain't got to invest in all these new developers. We ain't got to do that yet. And the thing is, it's still making them millions of dollars. And like literally,
that's what I was about to say, because GTA 5 is still like what, $60?
It is still heavily streamed on Twitch. Like if we can pull up the Twitch rankings right now. People still watching it.
It's I don't know the connection well as far as no pixel, because there is like a no pixel version of GTA 5. Pretty much like they do the whole role playing as certain characters. So people are like heavily streaming GTA 5 through like role playing games of no pixel. So it's absolutely crazy how much support GTA 5 is still getting. Except I do still call this bullshit. Except, however, they could do a play on, since GTA 5 is coming up on their 10-year, anniversary next year on September 17th. They could release it then if they do want to do next year. However, I give that like a 5%. Yeah.
Drop like a little teaser trailer like GTA 6 is coming type stuff.
Yeah.
And then it come out 2 years later. I feel like once I will believe that a GTA 6 is coming is when they stop putting out content for GTA 5. When they stop putting out previous GTA content, period. No more remasters, no more GTA 5 online campaigns. When they stop doing that, I will start believing that GTA 6 is coming.
Hold on,
right
bro.
now, it's not looking good.
You said 10-year anniversary, right? Like, hold on. Let me really look up.
Yeah, it came out September 17, 2013.
He know dates. Ralph knows dates.
Sophomore year of high school? Junior year? Yeah, because I bought an Xbox One. I bought the Xbox One, and then they made the upgraded version junior year of high school. So this is like early junior, sophomore year. That's crazy, bro. I've graduated college and become an adult. And folks are still
Hello,
playing,
that's
and we
what
ain't
I'm
got
trying to.
GTA 6 yet.
That's what I'm trying. That is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say is that we've been playing GTA 5 forever. I played it on PS3. I played it on PS4, and if I wanted to, I could play it on PS5. How many times will I play GTA 5 before I get GTA 6?
I just want to say,
Will they come out with a GTA VR, and then I have to play GTA VR before I get GTA 6?
And it's going to be GTA 5. It's not even going to be 6. They're going to be GTA 5
It's
on
not
the
even going to be
metaverse.
GTA 6.
it's gonna be GTA
That's what
5
I'm
remastered.
saying.
But you know what? I'm
So
so
while we're
upset.
talking about,
I would play it if it was on PSVR.
so let's get into PlayStation VR because I want to talk about CES 2022. Sony, AMD, Samsung, and other companies made some big announcements for some hot tech that's going to drop 2022. The one thing, but I do want to get into PlayStation VR 2. The most exciting thing that I saw for me, because you guys know I have my nerd cave, that Samsung Freestyle.
Yeah, that was a nice drop.
That is nasty. That is nasty. I signed up for the notification list.
Really?
But I did.
You.
I really want that giant. I'm gonna have to save up my money because looking at the prices, that giant is $900 off rip.
And
but
it's 1080p, right? Full HD.
Yes, and it has Samsung TV built into it.
Nice.
Wow.
So you don't have to buy a Fire Stick, don't have to buy Roku to plug into it. The only downside of the Samsung Freestyle is that they have the micro HDMI port. So it's not like you can, of course you can get an adapter, but you just can't straight plug up your game system into the Freestyle.
And you know they're probably going to sell the cord with the package, or they're going to sell like a little bundle package with one. They're probably going to come with that.
Probably gonna go the Apple route, and here are these accessories that you can buy on the side.
I was just about to say that.
But I did want to hop on the PlayStation VR 2. I didn't get the first PlayStation VR, but what it looks like, the PlayStation VR 2 is supposed to be the competitor to the Oculus. They've changed the controller style. I have an Oculus. The controllers basically look like the Oculus controllers, but PlayStation. They limited the amount of cords that you need to plug in or whatever. And they've also upped the specs to make it a more immersive gameplay. The drawbacks that I see in the PlayStation VR 2 is, one, they only showed a preview of one game that you can play with the PlayStation VR 2, and that is Horizon Dawn. On top of that, the PlayStation VR 2 is supposed to be exclusively for PS5. So if you do not have a PS5, well, I'm gonna say this: it's hard enough for people to find PS5s as it is. Hard enough that because Sony is not producing as many PS5s as they want to, they're making more PS4s.
Oh yeah, you saw we shared in the Hot Topics chat.
Yeah, they're making more PS5s to compensate for the fact that they are not producing enough PS5s, and now they're coming out with this VR accessory that is exclusive for that system. Also, they have not confirmed that any of the previous PlayStation VR 1 games are going to be available to play on PS5 as part of the system. And I just don't think it's a valuable buy. I
would agree.
I would tell anybody trying to get into VR, you're better off investing in an Oculus, because there's so much. Sony, if y'all remember before PS5 dropped, the one thing, backwards compatibility was an issue for them. And it was like, okay, fine, we'll do it, blah, 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 blah. They weren't really gung-ho about it, even back in the PS4 days before PS4 dropped. So I do not think they're going to, I'm very doubtful if they'll even allow backwards compatibility on the VR. Secondly, it is closed off to PlayStation. For VR to be this big thing that people want to invest in and blah, 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 if you're going to spend that much money on a VR headset, just for it to be locked to a PlayStation.
And it's going to touch 300.
Exactly.
It's going to touch
It's going to
300.
touch 300.
It might hit more than that.
It's a console that's already hard to get when you could just buy one for a PC.
I don't think they should go over 300. I think if they make that 300, then they really are just full of themselves that people are just going to go out and buy this VR headset.
How much is the Oculus right now?
The highest grade Oculus is $300 because I have. That's what I got.
And it works. And so you just got to look at the PC specs, and it can connect to a PC and play all Oculus games.
Right. So the amount of games they've shown one game. We don't know if there's backwards compatibility. Words are hard. And it's only exclusive for the PS5. They cannot make this jump more than $300. This is why they cannot make this jump more than $300. You mean to tell me that this accessory costs the same amount as the digital version of the PS5?
Honestly,
that this is the same price as the system?
You saying that alone, it honestly, I could see them pushing $249.99. I could see it. But honestly,
and
if they wanted to be fair to where I would buy it, $199.99.
I can only I say 300 is the cutoff point. Honestly,
300 I won't buy it.
I can see 250. I can see 250 and another version that's 300 because they threw a game in it. That you get this game for free if you buy this, a bundle basically. Yeah. I can see 250 by itself, 300 if it's a bundle. But I'm not paying more than $300. One, I might not even buy it if it's $250 because what am I gonna play? I'm gonna be real with y'all. I barely play the Oculus.
Yeah.
So
$200 is honestly the most competitive price they could place that at, and arguably, like me and Phoop kind of had this conversation back in the day. I feel like Nintendo should have been the ones to really be gung ho with VR. I feel like they already got the motion compatible games. They've already dipped into motion controls, and they've pretty much polished their craft. And they got so many franchises and IPs, i.e. Mario, i.e. Mario Kart, i.e. the sports Mario games, i.e. Mario Sonic and the Olympic games.
Nintendo could have dominated. Nintendo
they could have done a better job with VR than anybody.
When they brought out the Wii,
do the whole console route.
But they did want to do the console route. But I think the Wii influenced so much when it dropped. Motion control. VR is just another step up from that. And I just don't understand why Nintendo didn't hop on that trend when it was going down. Because all they had to do, and me and Ryan talked about this before, all they had to do was drop a Mario Kart VR, and that's it. Nintendo owns VR.
Honestly, that would have been nice. That would have been real lovely.
They own it. If they dropped a Mario Kart VR, they own it.
They already got that Wii Wheel accessory. They already got the Joy-Cons with the extra sensors when touching them.
VR is Nintendo.
Nintendo
then they
could have
expanded.
Like they could have. Didn't they have they had some shooters as well on Nintendo.
Yeah, if you throw in Metroid,
because they had
and if they even bring back Star Fox, yeah.
This is why I brought up Mario Kart. Mario is a household name. Anytime you see a Mario commercial for any type of game, what do you see in the commercial? A family.
Yep.
Or a group of friends playing Mario. No matter what Mario game it is, it's a family or a group of people.
Facts.
You release a Mario VR, that sells so many people. You got folks, you're going to have people's grandmothers buying Mario Kart VR. And I don't even know what VR is, but it's Mario. They know what Mario looks like.
They're going to buy for themselves. They're going to buy for their kids. They're going to buy for their nieces and nephews just because it's an easy blind buy.
Nintendo could have dominated VR with one game.
That's it.
But I would definitely say, anybody listening to this, I would not recommend you buy PlayStation VR.
Definitely not right now. If you're looking excited to it, I would wait to see what else they are going to release for the PlayStation VR 2 before you invest in it. And it may be 2023, maybe even closer to 2024 before the PlayStation VR 2 actually looks like something that I would buy.
Because in real life, you got to invest in this stuff for companies to continue to support it because there got to be a market. But right now, for them to have already dropped a PlayStation VR, they know what the market looking like. And to say, oh, Horizon's our go-to game, like, I know that's one of y'all best IPs, but let's just be real. That's one game. That's one game for basically another game system. Because how much is the Switch right now?
I haven't looked at Switch prices, but I know they just dropped the OLED.
If they place this thing anything past $250, it's very expensive. There's only one game. I say give it another. When it's supposed to drop, I say give it a year or two after it drops before anybody consider buying it. If there's not at least 5 solid games on there with versatility, not just PlayStation's action adventure IPs. I'm talking like they got a shooting game on there, they got a puzzle game on there, they got something else on there. I wouldn't say buy it. That's a waste of money.
And the Switch price right now is $350.
So if that VR is $300, it's close to a Switch.
On Walmart right now, it's sitting at $350.
Well, I know with the pandemic, they were having trouble getting more Switches out there because people were buying up because the pandemic started and everybody started buying up consoles. So that makes sense. With Switches are hard to get now.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, guys, I do have to end the conversation right here. We are touching pretty lengthy. But I know. But for our first episode of 2022, I'm very excited for what's to come. And for everybody who's been listening to us since 2021, there's definitely more coming up. So this is pretty much it. So you can go ahead and lead us out, Ralph.
All right. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Blerd Mob Pod. Make sure to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at the Blerd Mob.
All right, y'all. And this is the Mob checking out. Peace.
We'll see y'all in the next episode.
Be ready for Puss in Boots.
Hands up if you loving where you at. Stand 10 toes down. Shawty ain't no looking mad. You can let them haters hate when they answer while I'm smiling.